All right, what's up, everyone? We are live from the Hive. Thank you to those of you who have already joined. As always, let's, just give people some time to join. And sorry, I got to log in real quick to see the chat. Thank you so much to those of you who have joined. There is so much to talk about, as always, and I get, that's going to keep happening until Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out, and then we'll have even more stuff to talk about because the movie will be here. Great news dropped today, which I will definitely get into. That will be the first thing on our list of things to talk about. But if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy my stream or my content. Before we get into today's topics, and while people are still joining, I just want to remind you guys that there is a link in the description for my merch if you're interested in checking out any of that. It's been a while since I uploaded designs, but it's been kind of busy making content for the channel. So I'll try to get some new designs up there pretty soon. But I don't see, let me see. I don't think anyone's in the chat yet, right? I don't see any here for me. I hope it's working. But again, thank you to those of you who have joined the live stream so far. Of course, the biggest thing that, the biggest news that dropped today was that Zack Snyder's Justice League will be available worldwide same day. There are still a couple of announcements and updates that need to come, but this is happening, and it's such great news. I am so happy for international fans that are outside of the US or are in places that don't have access to HBO Max. It's such a big deal, and I know there's so many of you who even have, told me on my channel that you hope you get to see it, the same day, or you don't know when you're going to be able to see it. And so this morning, Zack Snyder tweeted this. Zack Snyder's Justice League will be available worldwide in all markets on the same day as in the US on March 18th via on-demand, digital download, linear, or streaming. And then he continued with another tweet. Platform availability will depend on each territory with the exception of China, France, and Japan, where the release dates are to be determined. Additional details for specific markets will be shared soon. So again, this is huge news, and it's so important that this is available worldwide, because this was a worldwide movement, and it's just so exciting. I hope the stream is working okay. For some reason, I feel like something's not working. Usually there's people in the chat and stuff, and I don't see that yet. So I hope it's working okay. If you are watching the live stream, can you let me know in the chats if everything is working okay? Because I feel like, for some reason, I feel like something's not working the way it's supposed to. I hope it is. I hope it is. But again, this is such big news for Snyder fans everywhere. This was a, worldwide movement. It was not just people in the US or North America. It was real, it was such a global thing. And so I know a lot of fans have been asking Zack recently, when are we going to be able to see it and how and all of that. So I'm so excited for international fans. Hopefully, hopefully the territories that he mentioned that are to be determined still, China, Japan, and France, hopefully those will end up being same day releases as well. And if not, hopefully they won't be too long afterward, after the March 18th. So I really hope that they're able to provide those updates soon. I'm guessing they will be, I'm guessing, he'll be able to make those announcements before the release, before March 18th. But such big news, very important for international fans. Oh, see, there I see the chat. For some reason, I can't see the chat. Let me open another tab so I can see it there. I'm not sure why the comments are not showing up for me. I apologize. I don't know why that's happening, but let's see if I can see them from here. Let me see. I'm not sure why I can't see the chat right now, but I'm trying it. Okay. All right. Now I can see the chat. I just had to open a different tab. So I apologize. Usually I can see them right away from my streaming page. First time live chat. Awesome. Thank you, Marcos. It looks like I won't be able to, for some reason, I won't be able to put your comments up this time. I don't know why that's happening. Let's see if I do this, if I can see the chat. I apologize for that. Usually I start seeing the comments right away. I knew something wasn't working. Usually I can see your guys' comments in the chat right away, but I don't know why I can't. So it looks like I probably won't be able to display them like I usually can, but now I can see them. All right, so Chernobyl, hello. Marcos, again, thank you for joining the live stream. I'm doing good today, Ronnie. Thank you for asking. And Lloyd as well. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing good. What's up, Alex? The new Chernobyl says the new WandaVision episode was a big, I don't know what all those letters mean, but it was a pretty big episode. You're here. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you so much. I just got a super chat. Oh, thanks, brother. Love you. I don't know why I can't display them today. Something is wrong with my chat on my stream, but I can see it. So thank you. I love you so much. I can see them if I open like my stream on YouTube, but for some reason they're not showing on my my streaming platform. But so I can't display them, but I can see them here. All right. So let's see. Oh, thank you, Chernobyl. Like the video if you're here. Yeah. Yeah. I can see you now, Marcos. I'm really sorry that I couldn't see the chat before, but I can see it now. The last WandaVision was a big disappointment. Oh, really? Okay. I thought it was going to be interesting for people. What's up, TK421? Nice to see you. I hate how they ruined Agatha. Well, I think that was kind of a theory for a lot of people, was that Agatha did have, you know, something to do with like it. They kept kind of pointing to like more. They kept kind of making they kept kind of dropping hints that she was going to have something to do with like the overall big picture. So I wasn't really too surprised by it, but you know, it is what it is. Love the new look at the scene Zack showed in the GIF or GIF, however you say it. I say GIF. Yeah. And he put that line there. That's why I brought you together, which we've heard as voiceover in the trailer before. Agatha isn't supposed to be this comedic. Well, you know, I think part of that is the sitcom aspect that they decided to, that's how they decided to do the show. You know, Wanda is living and creating this sitcom reality. And so maybe that's part of why she seems kind of comedic, but that could have just been for now. Maybe she's going to change a little bit now that we saw who she really is. So yeah, but again, so happy for fans worldwide who get to watch Zack Snyder's Justice League same day. And again, if you live in China, Japan, or France, hopefully those updates will be coming very soon. And I mean, I suspect that they will be available before the release because, you know, that would only be fair. And I mean, I don't see how they couldn't have made this worldwide. You know, that's the only way for them to really determine and really know how good it's going to do, how you know what I mean? Like they can't really know how good it's going to do if it's not worldwide. That's not a fair judgment, and it's not accurate at all. All right. So let's see. Hunter says, what is your thoughts on Latina actress has been cast as Supergirl? We would definitely get to that for sure. I'm definitely going to talk about that. Wonder if the No Lanterns line will have ramifications. Yeah, I know. That's kind of an interesting thing to think about because originally Zack had wanted to have a Green Lantern, and now I think it's kind of going to be a mystery until we see the film. However, it could still work because there still should be lanterns in the history scene, just not like, we're probably not going to, we might not have like a human lantern on Earth, that joins the League or something like that. So, it could still work, because if there were lanterns from, other, like alien lanterns from other planets or whatever, that would still work for him to say that there's no lanterns here, because they had encountered them still at the history battle. So that would still work. For him to say that, it would still make sense in that way. So the sitcom aspect hasn't really worked for me since episode 3. Sometimes it's so meta, it really takes me out of it. Okay, you're talking about WandaVision. Yeah, so I know I'm kind of going back and forth here between topics. I'm sorry, but I'm getting to your comments. Sometimes the sitcom part of it for me is a little bit difficult too, for me to like. Sometimes it kind of takes me out of it as well. But for me, it has gotten a lot more interesting after like episode 4. From episode 4 on, it's definitely got more interesting for me. And those little tidbits at the end of the episodes leading up to that were kind of what kept me in. But I've enjoyed it a lot more, like from the 4th episode now on. It's gotten more interesting for me. What will happen if Zack Snyder makes every film? I don't see that happening. I see him, he's said many times that, according to what he knows so far, Warner Brothers doesn't have an interest in continuing with, with this Justice League, saying with a part 2 or something like that. But at the same time, we never thought we would get this version of his movie. So there's still always that chance. And like I said, it's really important. This is why it's so important that this is going to be available worldwide, is because, it was only fair. Like, how are they really going to know? And how are they going to get money back, first of all, that they invested to finish it if it's not available worldwide? I saw a response from him on Vero earlier that a fan asked him, like, thank you for making this happen and stuff like that. And Zack said it was hard. And the person asked, like, was the fans' pressure, did that make a difference? And he said yes, with like a bunch of exclamation marks, which is really sad and like shocking to me, because I don't know how or why they wouldn't have noticed that this is a worldwide thing. Like, there are markets outside of outside of North America that are much bigger and more supportive of like these movies and his movies compared to North America, like India, South America, China, like those markets, the UK, they're like clamoring for this, like they love his stuff. And anytime there's like a con event or a press junket or something in one of those other huge markets, it is huge. And it's like such a big deal and so important to them. And so for them not to realize that this was such a big thing worldwide is really shocking to me. Even just being on social media, I don't understand how they could miss that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how they would not be aware that it's a worldwide thing. Like Zack said in that interview he was on recently on a YouTube channel, he said that they really didn't see it coming, and they kind of weren't prepared for like the demand, that the worldwide demand for this. And so that's why it's kind of coming last minute that it is going to be available worldwide. They should have had this set in place a long time ago and prepared to let people know when they're going to have it, you know what I mean? And that they're going to have it the same day or whatever. He said that they just did not have that urgency. They didn't feel the urgency until just recently, probably when the release date dropped and there was like not any more announcements coming out about international availability. Fans kind of started pressuring them and asking them, like, when are we going to have it here? I live here. When am I going to get to watch it? How am I going to get to watch it? So this is this is very important. And it's another victory for fans. And I don't mean that in like, a disrespectful or like, way, but it is in that the fans are this fan base is continuing to, kind of just make things happen that are fair and things that should have happened in the first place. Any other movie that they release is going to be available worldwide on, in theaters at least, maybe not on, if you don't have HBO Max, but like they get released in theaters worldwide, or like, why wouldn't it be available? You know what I mean? So anyway, it's a big deal. It's very important. And I'm so happy for those of you that comment on my channel that are not in North America, that don't have HBO Max. It's so great. It's so great. It's awesome. So let's kind of, I see, oh wait, there was another question I wanted to answer. I was rewatching the trailer. I wonder what that scene of Steppenwolf on his knees for Desaad. I do wonder if he will torture him in that scene. That's actually kind of interesting that you brought that up. My husband brought up an interesting theory. He was thinking that possibly Desaad is like upgrading him somehow, like giving him more power or something like that, maybe through the mother box that he has, or the mother boxes that he has already gotten at that point in the movie. I don't see why he'd be torturing him, unless there's something I don't know. But I think maybe he's like giving him it could be possible that he's giving him more power, or like something. I don't know. We don't know, but we will see. Good question though. So will there be any Kryptonians in the history lesson? What do you think the plan is now with the empty pod now that Supergirl's been cast? Yeah, I'm going to get to that because the Supergirl casting brings up some questions about, Man of Steel and the history lesson and stuff like that. So, Ali, can you give me your opinion on the show WandaVision, the scene with Darcy and Vision in the truck? Just didn't do it for me. Yeah, I get that they're kind of I get that going back to WandaVision, like, I get what they're going for. Like, each episode is a different decade and a different type of sitcom, and this one was like the modern day type. I can see how it was kind of like a waste of time. It could have been viewed as like a waste of time. Maybe they could have shown like more important things going on at that time. I mean, I guess the most important part of that scene was like Darcy was kind of telling Vision, she was kind of bringing him up to date on like what's happened, because he doesn't have any memory of like what happened up until that point of living in that sitcom world. And we've seen the view before that he's confused. Hi, Bob, Bob's Adventures. Sorry, I was reading something. We've seen him like confused before on his life, what happened, like, he's usually, he had started kind of to pick up on the fact that like something's wrong, or like this is not real, and that, he didn't remember things from before. So I guess the most important thing about that scene with him and Darcy was that she was kind of bring, like, trying to let him know what has happened up until that point. But, I know there are certain things that like kind of take you out of it because of that sitcom aspect. But, we just have to kind of remember that this is like the reality that Wanda is creating, not actually how they're trying to roll out the show, What's up, Internet Master? We are live from the Hive. Nice to see you. So, yes, I am happy about the worldwide release as well. It is awesome news. So let's move on to the Supergirl casting. Now, this is very interesting to me. First of all, this is for the Flash movie. Okay, so I mean, what's the first thing that's surprising to me about this is that I did not expect to even see Supergirl in the Flash movie. Let's see if this fixes it. No? Okay. Sorry, I was just trying to see if I could bring up the chat for myself. This is very surprising. I mean, I didn't expect that Supergirl would be in the Flash movie. I know that if they are doing some kind of, yeah, that's who I expected was in the second pod for Man of Steel as well. So I didn't expect to see Supergirl in the Flash movie. I mean, I know that if they are doing some kind of Flashpoint based storyline, that there are a lot of other Justice League members in that world. So I guess it depends on, like, is she going to exist in the current timeline, in a different timeline? Like, it brings up a lot of questions. Let's see if I can, let me re-share it. And then I want to, so I can share the audio of Andy Muschietti telling her, hold on, let me get her name right before I, Sasha Calle. Okay. He's actually, there's a video of him telling her that she has been cast as Supergirl, but let me share it with audio really quickly. That way we can hear it. And I mean, it's great. I love that they chose a Latina. It's always good to see things like that, you know, ethnic diversity and stuff like that. I know some people kind of get bent out of shape when, like, oh, I forgot something. Hold on. I forgot to click share audio. Let me get it really quick. So it's great that they cast a Latina. She does not have to be blonde hair, blue-eyed to be Supergirl. And so that's great. Let's watch this. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Okay. This is Andy Muschietti telling Sasha that she has been cast as Supergirl in the Flash movie.
Hola.
Hola, Sasha, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú cómo estás?
The truth is that I don't, you know, we still don't have an answer, but I need to ask you a couple more questions. I mean, it's just part of the process.
Yes,
so,
ask them, please. I've been dying over here. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, here it goes. Can you fly?
Can I fly?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean, can I fly?
Like fly, like physically.
If you need me to.
Okay.
No, of course not. ¿Cómo así que sí puedo volar? O sea,
All right. Do you want to fly?
yeah, I would love to.
Okay. Well, then maybe you will need this. You know what this is?
What?
You're Supergirl. Felicitaciones. Muy bien. ¿Está bien, Sasha? Come back. Felicitaciones. Congratulations, Sasha. You made it. You made it.
Thank you, guys. This is like...
Okay. Thank you. No, thank you. We're all thrilled about it. You know, we're super happy. And
little me would be like, no way. Can I freak out for a second?
Of course. Yeah. Take your time.
I got it.
¿Sabías lo que era?
I can't, I'm probably not going to stop crying all day. And I'll probably see you guys and talk to you guys and also cry in the middle of a conversation with you guys. So I just want to say thank you so much again. I really
Yeah, you're really...
Thank you. Thank you, truly.
Okay, so that was her finding out that she is going to be Supergirl. I see a lot of you in the chat talking about the open pot of Man of Steel, which is exactly why I was saying that this raises a lot of questions for, I mean, even it raises questions for Zack Snyder's Justice League, because so many of us keep going back to that open pod in Man of Steel. And Zack Snyder said that the League will see that pod again when they take Clark's body into the ship. And so when Steppenwolf says no Lanterns, no Kryptonians, I mean, that kind of automatically makes you think that there was a Kryptonian at the history battle, because why else would he say that? even if they know about the Kryptonians and that race, that doesn't mean that, like, okay, why would it be significant though? You know what I mean? Because he says that there's no protectors there on here on Earth. So it would only make sense for there to have been a Kryptonian at that history lesson. And if we kind of think back to Man of Steel, when Lois goes, to the Arctic and she's there with the military, they're kind of telling her details about how long this ship has been in the ice. And then it could kind of line up with how long ago that invasion with Euxis took place. And so it makes sense for there to have been a Kryptonian at that history battle. And, since there was that open pod of Man of Steel, the prequel comic said that it was Kara who left that pod. Now, because, I don't know. I just don't know. It brings a lot of questions to mind. Zack said, stay tuned when asked about the pod. So yes, he's always, and I've said this so many times, he never gives a straightforward yes or no answer. It's kind of always this, he kind of talks around it. He doesn't give, like you said, stay tuned. It's kind of just a vague, answer. He doesn't give much detail. He doesn't go into detail about that like he does on some other fan questions. And this has come up a lot because people have so many fan theories about that open pod. And then, of course, when Steppenwolf says no Kryptonian, well, who else are you going to think was there? Obviously, it wasn't Superman. And so if someone survived, and then it also makes you wonder, which my husband brought up to me one time that I hadn't even thought of. What would cause their ship to crash land here on Earth, and get stuck in that ice? And it was obviously something pretty significant because most of them, only one person, they didn't survive it. They were they stayed in their pods and they died in their pods, except for that one that got out. So I wonder, that's also another thing to consider or think about, what made them crash land. Their technology, their ships are extremely advanced. What would cause them to crash and then not even survive the crash? So it's pretty interesting. I hope that people don't have issues with her being a brunette and being Latina, because yes, she's always been drawn as a blonde hair, blue-eyed character, but we now have a Flash that has dark hair. These are fictional characters. Let's remember that. These are fictional characters. Kryptonians are a fictional race. And as someone I saw in the comments earlier was talking about, a lot of the L's in this family have dark hair. It makes sense for her to have dark hair and dark eyes and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong. It's a good thing to have diversity in, the cast. And allow people of other, cultures and ethnicities outside of Caucasian to play these characters, even though they are depicted that way. You know what I mean? So it doesn't need to be political or nothing like that. It's just it's fair to give other people a shot that don't exactly have blonde hair and blue eyes, So yeah, exactly. Linda Carter is Mexican. Exactly. She's Hispanic. She has a Latina background. So, Gal Gadot doesn't have blue eyes. You know what I mean? It's just yeah, people don't need to get bent out of shape about stuff like that. And it's important to people in those cultures, let's say Latina or African American or Asian. Let's see, in Aquaman, we have Polynesian, Samoan, Hawaiian type of cultures. It's important to do that. You know what I mean? So I applaud them for casting a Latina. And what did Zack say? I don't know. Oh, he posted on Twitter. Oh, let's see. I have notifications for him, so I should have it at the top here. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so he posted am I still sharing my screen? Yeah, okay. All right, Jim Lee is working on this amazing art as a variant cover for the current run of Justice League comic. Oh, wow. Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. Awesome. Very cool. And since Aquaman and Wonder Woman look like Zack Snyder's versions of these characters, I wonder if that Martian Manhunter look is accurate or similar to how we will see him in the movie. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for putting it in the chat. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, awesome. That's, wow. You guys can see it. Yeah. I wonder if that's, I mean, I'm guessing that that's how our Wonder Woman looks in this universe, and that's how Aquaman looks. Of course, their face is not exactly, but that's them. You can tell. That's Jason Momoa's version of Aquaman, Gal Gadot's version of Wonder Woman. And I think that's probably an accurate depiction. And Zack Snyder shared it. So, you know, that's also telling in and of itself that he shared it. I'm going to make sure I retweeted it. Yeah, I did. Okay. Beautiful. Awesome. It's always fun during a live stream to see when there's updates like that in real time. So thank you for putting that in the chat, because it can be hard to keep up with all of that while I'm on here. So I guess, you know, even though it's not in color, I can't wait to see him as Martian Manhunter. It's going to be amazing. If they put that in the trailer, I hope it's a very small tease. I hope it's not a complete reveal, because I think that'd be a little bit too much for a trailer. We all know he's going to be in the movie. I know to reach out to wider audiences, it's, you know, it's why they're showing Joker and all of those types of things and Darkseid. But you can still kind of tease Martian Manhunter's reveal or transformation without showing him 100%. So hopefully we just get a little tease of that in the surprise trailer that will be coming out sometime. It's a surprise trailer. We're probably not going to know the release date for that surprise trailer. I think it's probably a good possibility that it will be like probably really close to the release of the movie. So, oh, there is one in color? Where? Let me see. Is it on Zack's Twitter? Or is it somewhere else? Let me go. No, okay, I just see the one on Zack's, but okay, I guess maybe there is one in color. Let me see. Awesome art though, and like someone said in the chat, it does look similar to the one in, like Internet Master said, it looks like the drawing from the iPhone, from his phone. Yeah, it does look very similar to that. The one that he shared very quickly on one of his streams with David Film Junkie. So on Twitter, huh? Okay, you're saying there is a colored one. Let me see if I can find it. I shouldn't be showing it. Yeah, I mean, there was a rumor. Oh, there we go. I found it. Thank you for letting me know. Wow. Cool. Awesome. I mean, they've done a great job on their designs of Steppenwolf, Euxis, you know, Desaad, all the apocalyptic characters. We saw Granny Goodness kind of blurry in the trailer, in the teaser, but I mean, in the trailer, sorry. But you didn't have like a really clear, good look at her, which is fine. That's good. You know, like leave that for the movie. And this is, I think, maybe a good way to tease him without, you know, show, because of course, yeah, you can show it in a drawing, but like, or concept art, but seeing it like in a trailer or it still has a different effect. You know what I mean? Like showing something in a trailer kind of, I don't know, it's just different because it's actually it's the movie, you know, it's like actual footage. So I imagine that the stuff that they shot, you know, in additional photography, including the Martian Manhunter stuff and like the Nightmare stuff with Cyborg and Joker and all that, that's the kind of stuff that they'll probably really be working on CGI for down to the last minute before the movie comes out, because they shot that just a few months ago. And so They really have to, and especially to make them look as best that they can. Martian Manhunter, I mean, that's important. He's obviously going to have more involvement than we initially expected. At first, we thought we're just like, oh, we're going to get a reveal. Like, we're going to see him transform as Martian Manhunter. But then when Zack posted that cyborg picture with the Martian Manhunter quote, there's a war coming, that gives you the impression that he's going to have more involvement than we initially thought. And Zack kind of winked at it in the comments on Vero, like, yeah, you guys are on the right track in thinking that. I'm so upset that we have no Kiersey Clemens, Iris West confirmation. For the Flash movie, I know. The drawing looks great. It does. I know. I really want them to keep Kiersey Clemens as well. I'm happy that we're finally going to get to see her in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I hope that they keep her also. She's a big part. I mean, they have to have Iris West in a Flash movie. You can't leave her out. She has to be in it. And it would only be fair to keep her. I don't see why they wouldn't, unless for some reason she doesn't want to. But she was super stoked about being in Zack Snyder's Justice League, or in Justice League, like she was supposed to. So I'm sure I don't see why she wouldn't want to do the Flash movie. But also with the Supergirl casting, it also brings up issues with the fact that, it also reminds us of the issues of the Cyborg with Ray Fisher problem. You know what I mean? That they wrote him out of the movie. And because of the whole, investigation stuff going on and what he said about not wanting to work with Walter Hamada and all of that. So it brings up, it's still, I think anytime an announcement comes out about the Flash movie, it's going to bring up the Ray Fisher stuff. I don't know if they did this with Supergirl. I don't know how long they planned on having Supergirl in the Flash movie. I don't know if it's a new thing. I don't know if they did it to distract us from the Cyborg thing. I don't know. I don't know if this was an original plan. I really don't know. Will you think Zack Snyder make a good Sonic film? I think it'd be an interesting character to give Zack. I really don't know. I don't know if I could see him doing that kind of character, but I'm sure any character that he would ever decide to take on, he would do a great job with. So I would have faith. Everything he does is epic. So, it would be epic for sure. Okay. So I wonder if Zack will say anything about this or if he won't. Like I said, it raises a lot of questions for the open pod and all of our fan theories that we've had over the years. I don't know. Okay, here's a possibility as well. Another possibility is that in Zack Snyder's Justice League, there is a Kara or a Supergirl at the history battle. Okay, but since the Flash movie is going to be like a take on Flashpoint, where there's different timelines and that kind of thing. We know we're going to have Michael Keaton's Batman, all of that. There's going to be different versions of these characters. This could be a different version of Supergirl. She could be in this other timeline, like where Michael Keaton's Batman exists or whatever other timelines he goes into. Maybe this is that Supergirl in the other timeline. Because I don't know how they would really explain. Or it could be that because Zack Snyder's Justice League is kind of its own bubble. I don't know what are those. Its own thing. Yes, it sets up the other movies. It sets up Aquaman. It sets up The Flash. It sets up, if hopefully we get the Batman eventually, the Ben Affleck one with Deathstroke. It sets those things up. And like Zack has said, it implies that there is this whole other universe out there that they can explore. Zack could still have his own version of Kara or Supergirl in this movie. And like I said, since The Flash is going to open up that multiverse concept, this could, be one version of Supergirl or Kara that we see in the DCEU. Doesn't mean it's the only one, She could be in a different timeline. You know what I mean? Or there could just be two different people cast as the character. There's a lot of different possibilities. You know, the fact that they are doing the multiverse concept provides that possibility that they can use their own people in different movies for the same character. They can be different versions of the character. You know, they can be different universes, different worlds, different Earths, whatever. So, I mean, I'm excited. It's not a bad thing. It just raises questions. You know, I see it as a positive thing. I see it as interesting and cool that we're going to have, I mean, we're going to have a live action Supergirl in a movie. That's great. That's great news. It's great news that she's a Latina actress. You know, so there's, again, some of the negative things about it are like that, you know, with Ray Fisher and Cyborg, I'm hoping that he actually does end up in the movie. Because it seems like Walter Hamada and Ray Fisher have kind of reconciled with each other, but Ray Fisher keeps tweeting, and I think again today, that today would be a good day for Walter Hamada to apologize to the rest of the people involved in the Justice League investigation. So it seems like Ray Fisher has gotten his apology from Walter Hamada personally, but that he's still waiting for Walter Hamada to offer that same thing to the other people involved in the investigation. So I think there's still a possibility that Ray Fisher and like Cyborg could end up being in the Flash movie. Yeah, but I don't see the Supergirl thing as a negative. I just think it raises questions, and some of those questions probably we won't know for sure those questions, you know, until Zack Snyder Justice League comes out. And because I mean, if she's in it, then she's already in it in Zack's movie. So, or a version of her. So I still am hoping that the fan theory about Supergirl being captured by Euxis at the History Invasion and taken to Apocalypse, I'm hoping that holds true. So I think that that's a great fan theory. I think Zack would definitely do something like that. I don't think the open pod was ever meant to be meaningless. I think it was very intentional. I think he was planting those seeds very early on because he had a plan over the 5 movies or so that he was supposed to do originally. And he shot everything back when he was originally filming the movie. So, you know, there was only, like we know, these few extra things that he filmed in additional photography. So, and if they're keeping the dialogue with no lanterns, no Kryptonian, no protector, if they're keeping that line, which we know they are because it's in the trailer. Well, we heard a part of it in the trailer, but if they're keeping that dialogue, then I don't see why that the context for it wouldn't also be in the movie. Let's see. Power Girl's Clark's cousin in Earth 2, her role in Crisis, maybe she will show up in one of these upcoming films. I don't know if she would be a live act. I don't know. That might be a stretch for a live action character in a movie. Yeah, why is every Snyder fan on Twitter hating on this? I don't know. I don't think people should hate on it. I think maybe people are taking it, like I said, as a way of saying that, you know, that she's not in Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is, so we don't know that yet. We don't know if this is a different version of Kara. We don't know if we just don't know, you know? So I thought Zack already cast Supergirl. Well, we don't know that. And I thought that was very interesting too. He was holding, it looked like Henry's suit to me as well. I do think I thought that was very interesting too, the suit that he was holding when he was telling her that she would need this suit to fly or whatever, when he was kind of messing with her. I thought that was very interesting too, that he was holding that suit. So, I mean, yeah, I don't see it as a bad thing. I just think it raises questions that we're not going to 100% know until we see Zack Snyder's Justice League and probably this movie. Because if we do see a version of Kara or Supergirl in the Snyder Cut, then we're going to wonder, like, did they just pick a different person for the Flash film to play her? Or is she like a version in a different timeline or Earth or whatever? you know? So that actress took a picture with Jason and the cast. Well, I think the one that I think what you're talking about, Alex, is Sofia Boutella, which people have theorized could be Grail or Supergirl in Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's not this actress. That's a different actress. I think Supergirl would be in place for Superman in the Flash movie. That's a possibility. That is a possibility. There's still kind of a lot we don't know about the Flash movie. A lot. It's changed so many times over the years. So I don't know. They did start production, though, just a few days ago because Barbara Muschietti had shared on social media from outside of the studio. But again, I don't see it as a bad thing. Like I said, going back to Ray Fisher and Cyborg, I hope he ends up being in the film. Hopefully if this was a last minute thing, because if she's just finding out that she's Supergirl and they're starting production, I understand things like that can happen, but if she's just finding out, I don't know. Maybe that was an old video of her finding out and they just decided to share it now that the announcement's out. So I could be wrong about that. But either way, if this was a last minute decision or they started talking about it when the whole Ray Fisher thing started escalating, I hope it wasn't only based on that. You know what I mean? Like, I hope if it was something that they planned from the beginning, but they didn't want to put it out there yet, that's fine. But I hope it wasn't something that they just decided to do if Cyborg's not going to be in it. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's been so much drama that's happened with that movie. It sucks. It really sucks that that's happened with that movie. I'm still looking forward to it. I just, I hope we end up getting Cyborg in the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the Mortal Kombat trailer. I did do a trailer reaction for it, and that's on my channel if you want to watch that. Let me see. They had to break the news because the Flash started production 2 days ago. Yes. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Where can we see it? Yeah, I guess they probably did announce that in case pictures started leaking out of an actress in a Supergirl suit or costume, because that kind of stuff happens all the time. People get set pictures and, stuff gets leaked out. So maybe they were trying to let me see who said that in the chat. Yeah, maybe they were trying to get that out there. And yes, this is not Sofia Boutella. This is Sasha Kaya. This is a different actress. It's not the girl that people have predicted might be Grail or Supergirl in Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's a different person, different actress that we saw in those pictures with the crew, the cast. All right, so let's get into the Mortal Kombat trailer. Like I said, I did do a reaction. So I did do a reaction. So if you are interested in watching that, you can head over to my channel and after this and watch the reaction. I'm just kidding. But I will start off by saying that, well, I'm not going to play the trailer, but I will start off by saying that I was on a Mortal Kombat. I've never been a big video game person, including Mortal Kombat, but of course it's familiar to pretty much anybody, but I'm not as familiar with the in-depth details of certain characters or stories and stuff like that. However, the images that we got not too long ago, just some of the pictures that we had gotten of the first look at the characters and stuff, they kind of piqued my interest. And so the trailer, I have to say, was overall pretty good in my opinion. I appreciated a lot of the cinematography, the imagery, the color, and I think overall it was a good trailer. I liked how they showed the different abilities of the different characters. I like the ice is awesome. I think I'm really gonna enjoy Sub-Zero's character. I love all of that, and I also like the fire, it just reminds you of like Avatar, you know, and that's really cool to see live action. So I like all of that stuff for sure. I mean, obviously it was a red band trailer, so it's going to be very graphic, which for Mortal Kombat, you know, I mean, in the live action version, there's really no way it can't be. So Zack didn't comment on her announcement going back to Supergirl. Not that I'm aware of. I haven't seen anything from him. I'm sure people will be flooding Zack's social media with questions asking about the Supergirl announcement, but I don't know if he's going to respond or not. But yes, Mortal Kombat, I think it's just going to be, I mean, unfortunately with video game based movies, there are such high expectations, which that's not a bad thing, but then a lot of people end up disappointed because it didn't exactly match their like ideal mental image of like a live action version of that character or that story. Hopefully this is not one of those movies. Hopefully it pleases a lot of Mortal Kombat fans. So, you know, again, I really enjoyed a lot of the cinematography, the imagery. This opening scene was insane. I think Sub-Zero is going to be a crazy live action character. A lot of good imagery, cinematography like this, amazing. So I like even just shots like this, like they just look so cool. And you know, the cast seems like it's probably pretty on point, especially from what I've seen people like commenting on the channel and stuff, that they are happy with a lot of the casting decisions. I think I have a screenshot of the part people weren't as excited for. I think I do have it, and I'll get to that in a minute. But like I said, I love the coloring. I think it's reminiscent of the game. Like this kind of stuff. This was my favorite kinds. These were my favorite parts of the trailer. All this element, showing how they use them, how they use their abilities. Really cool. And like I said, that kind of stuff is cool to see in live action because it reminds you of like Avatar and airbending, waterbending, you know, earth, fire, all of that stuff is really cool. And so, I mean, it's definitely going to be an adult, bloody, gory version of that. Very cool. His arms look awesome. And so, you know, since the trailer, in my opinion, was pretty good, I hope it doesn't turn out to be, hey, what's up, Zeverfet? What's up, Ryan? I hope, especially for Mortal Kombat fans' sake, I hope it doesn't turn out to be underwhelming, because in my opinion, I liked the trailer. Like, these shots are awesome. The costumes, the suits, the CGI. So because I'm not a Mortal Kombat player and it's just a familiar thing to me, I don't have as high expectations as like people who have loved Mortal Kombat for years. But you know, that doesn't mean that the movie can't be underwhelming. It can still be underwhelming, even if you don't have as high expectations for it. But someone asked, okay, Easy Brown, what games you play? I'm not a gamer. So I've never really been into like playing games. If I do, I just play like simple retro games like Pac-Man and Galaga, and like I'll play little games with my kids or whatever, but I've never been like a gamer. And so, like I said, that's, you know, I'm not going to have as high expectations for like the details of this movie as like Mortal Kombat and gamers. Those fans are obviously going to have high expectations. It's just like if you love a certain book series or something, you have high expectations when they are turned into movies. Same with comic book movies and all of that. But games and comic books have that thing where there's different versions, there's, you know, different storylines and, you know, stuff that directors and movie and filmmakers could choose to go. There's different avenues they could choose to pursue. And if, you know, people always have this mental representation of how they would like those characters to be shown in a live action. And so if they don't meet those, if the movies don't meet those expectations, then people are disappointed with them. And so I think that's where, so far, I think that's where video game movies have, like, they don't usually satisfy the gamers that much. hopefully this is not one of those movies. Maybe this will be an exception because I think the trailer made it look like it's going to be a great movie. Again, some more beautiful imagery there. Oh, sorry. Taking pictures for thumbnails. Oh, there's a forearm cyborg that the concept artist shared on his Instagram. Okay. This is where I think people were disappointed with the trailer because of this famous line that's in the game, "Get over here." So I mean, I understand why people were disappointed with it because whether you are aware of it or not, like why that line is, it's a popular thing or it's something that you would want to see in the live action because it's popular in the game. It was not clear. It was like, I understand he has face piece on, but when Sub-Zero says I'm Sub-Zero, like he has face piece on and he has a mask thing on and you can still understand what he's saying. This line, get over here line did not come out clearly. I don't know if it's going to sound better in the movie or not. I don't know if it was just cut so like fast in the trailer, it didn't come out good. I don't know. But I think people from what I saw were disappointed with how that came, how that was delivered. Get over here was the best part besides looking. Okay, well, Internet Master, you liked it, but that's great. Like I said, for me, it wasn't clear. Like it was just kind of hard to understand what he was saying. Excuse me. But I don't know. Maybe it'll sound better in the movie. Maybe we'll get it more than once. I'm not sure. I just love all of these scenes of like the ice and the elements. It's really cool. Their costumes are cool. I think Sub-Zero, they just really like highlighted him in the trailer, showing his abilities. And I think this is maybe where the CGI is lacking a little bit, was in this part. But, with these kind of CGI heavy movies, there's going to be parts that are not, there's going to be things that look better. Just like in Zack Justice League, there's going to be parts that look better than others with CGI. It's not going to look perfect in every scene that has these big CGI things going on. You know what I mean? People got used to hear it loud and clear. Yeah, I think, that's how it's supposed to sound. He's wearing a mask. He is, but even if people are wearing a mask or like a face piece or something in a movie, like you still want the sound and the dialogue to be clear. Like it can be very annoying if sound in a movie is not clear. You know what I mean? Like kind of with Tenet. The sound, because of the way the movie was mixed, like with headphones on a laptop because it was during COVID, the sound mixing did not turn out well. Like the action and the music was super loud, but then the dialogue was very quiet. Like a lot of people, including myself, had to watch it with subtitles on. So you don't want, just because they're wearing something, like you still want to be able to understand what they're saying. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But, so I can see why people kind of had an issue with how it sounded right there, especially if it's something that you're looking forward to a character saying in a movie. I could understand why people are a little bit disappointed with how it's said. It's kind of like if, it took years to hear the Avengers say, Avengers Assemble in the Marvel Universe, right? It took all up until Endgame. That's when they finally said it. So if that hadn't come out like if that had been delivered in a way that was kind of like disappointing and underwhelming, like it just is like, oh man, like, I understand. That's just, I don't know. Like you want it to get you like excited when you hear things in a movie that are from like a book or a game or a cartoon or something, and you finally get a live action version of it, that those like significant lines or dialogue that you're looking forward to, you want it to get you like excited to hear it. And I don't think this did that for a lot of people when he said, get over here. So, yeah. But like I said, overall, I thought it was a good trailer. And oh, okay, now we're in my workout videos. But again, it's going to be very gory and mature. One of my favorite parts was when, and I don't think I have a screenshot of it because it happened too fast and I couldn't get like a clear one of it. One of my favorite parts was when Sub-Zero froze the blood and grabbed it, like, and used it like as that was great. Like, I really liked things like that. I think the choreography is going to be, I mean, for movies like this, the choreography for fights and action has to be like on point. You know what I mean? People are going to be expecting that to be like perfect. So I think they probably did a good job with that. I have a question. Okay, do you think CGI would get more polished? The cyborg shot in the new one looked kind of funky. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the scene where he's in the nightmare. Let me see if I have it on here. Okay, I think you're talking about this. Let me reshare my screen. I mean, in the trailer, it happens very fast because it's kind of during like that montage of like quick, you know, second clips. Like I was saying earlier, the stuff that this was new, right? They just shot this a few months ago when they did additional photography because this is obviously Cyborg in the nightmare sequence. And so I understand why, like, especially if you pause it at this part, the CGI does not look as good as it does in like other scenes with Cyborg or with CGI things going on, but specifically Cyborg. It does look a little wonky in this part, but I just think that's because it's one of the newer scenes in the movie. They didn't have this for years like they did with the other stuff. They just shot this and like, but I do think it will look better with movies like this, like the CGI. They work on it right up until the movie is released. So I do think that it will look better by the time the movie comes out. You know, I don't know if it's going to look as amazing as like some of the other parts with Cyborg do, because they've had those for longer. There were some parts that were already pretty far along and they just had to finish them. This was new, right? So they haven't had as much time to work on it. They had to start, this was like from scratch that they had to do this, right? So, but I do think by the time the movie comes out, it will look better because like I said, they work on those things up until the movie comes out, and especially this new stuff that they had to shoot, including Martian Manhunter, you know, that was new too. So that stuff I anticipate they will be working on right up until the release of the movie. Let me see. I seem to remember on November 17th, Zack told fans on Vero that Justice League would cover what happened to Kara. It was covered by most media. I don't know. Maybe he did. I could be remembering wrong. I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't remember personally. I'm not sure. On the CGI, every trailer has looked a lot better, but Zack did say the movie is now finished. I'm still waiting. Yes, it is finished. But if you think about it, like, okay, say the movie's coming out in theaters. It's going to be finished probably a couple months before it's released, right? But they still work on and touch up those CGI things up until the movie's release. So it is finished, and like, you know, but they still work on those little details until the movie comes out, especially like I said, with this new additional photography. You know, they're going to have to definitely work on that stuff until it comes out. I wanted Supergirl to debut in the Man of Steel sequel. Well, I mean, yeah, that would be, I mean, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, to be honest. Technically, I guess a lot of people will say like, BVS is the Man of Steel sequel. It's the direct sequel, right? As far as like events. But I mean, I know you're talking about like another Superman solo movie. I don't know. I mean, I am still hoping that this theory about her being at the history lesson in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'm still hoping that that turns out to be true. But you know, we're only weeks away from finding out, so we will see. Let me see. Do I think Supergirl will get HBO Max series after this? I don't know. Maybe. We will see. Her show ended on the CW, so I don't know if they're going to move her over and have like a whole nother thing going on HBO Max. I'm not really sure. Maybe they'll see how. It might depend on how this is received in the Flash movie, how she's received. Maybe that will determine things going forward as far as like being on HBO Max or something like that. Let's see. I don't know if we'll ever get another Superman film. Yeah, I don't know either. And if we do, I mean, Zack Snyder's Justice League, so much is hinging on this, which is why it's so important that it's going to be available worldwide. That's, you know, so much is riding on it. And it's going to give them so much, hopefully, it's going to give them insight into the fan base, into what people want, because that's why, like, Zack is setting up so much in this movie that fans are going to want more of. And so hopefully the studio sees that as, you know, personally, I don't know if Zack should give them another part, like a part 2 or something. I don't know if they deserve that from him, even if they're like, I think it would have to be like, like, I kind of get the feeling that Zack is just like, I'm done with these people. I got to make my movie the way I wanted it, and it's satisfying for him in that way. So if they were to say, your stuff can be on HBO Max and you have all this creative freedom, you can do your story exactly the way you want, we're not going to meddle, we're not going to hover, you can do a series, episodes, movie, whatever. If they gave him that much freedom to where he's like, he could just do whatever he wants and just go for it and it'll be on HBO Max, if they gave him that and they could like promise that they wouldn't interfere, I think maybe then he would do it. Maybe. But when he talks about it, I kind of get the feeling that he's like, I just don't have the energy to deal with this anymore. Regardless, I see him still being involved in like productions of other solo movies and stuff like that. But I think he is just kind of like, I don't want to ever go through this again. Which I don't blame him. I just don't think that it's kind of like, I think they would need to beg him to give them more. You know what I mean? And to just like give him the freedom that he deserves creatively. So that's kind of what I think about like moving forward. But I mean, besides Justice League 2, Part 2, it sets up like Ben Affleck's Batman thing with Deathstroke. You know, we're getting the Flash movie. It just sets up a lot of places that they could go with it, you know, with their universe moving forward. So even like Nightmare stuff, you know what I mean? So it is a big deal. But again, huge, so important that Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be available worldwide same day. Again, more announcements coming for China, Japan, and France. But, you know, in the meantime, amazing news. I'm so happy for international fans. And, you know, we'll see if, I don't know if Zack's going to comment on the Supergirl thing or not. We'll see. But I don't think people should be like, you know, there doesn't have to be this division between like, you know, Snyder and like other movies or directors that choose to do, you know what I mean? Like he's not in charge of everything. He's not dictating everything. Like those directors are allowed to do what they want to do with their movies, just like he is, right? Like if we want him to be able to have the freedom he wants to do his movie, then those other directors need to have that as well. But we'll see if he comments on it. I'm going to have to go ahead and end the stream for today, but I just want to thank all of you so much for the support on my channel. Thank you for joining the live stream. If you missed any videos from the past few days, head over to the channel, check them out. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and leave a thumbs up. Appreciate it so much. Turn on that notification bell. And once again, if you're interested, a link for my merch is in the description. You can check that out there, as well as the Autumn Snyder AFSP fund. Please don't forget about that. It's still very important. And one more thing. Let me see. You can follow me on Twitter at SuperHiveDC and Instagram Brooks_Hive. So thank you again also so much for the support. And we'll see what other announcements or news will be coming that has to do with the Snyder Cut or anything else in this world of entertainment. And again, I will be keeping you updated on that stuff. Like I said, the other announcements for the worldwide release. And